Well, here she is, the new Southern Steel coach, Wendy Frew. We've just broken news to her that we run a sports podcast, which is excellent. So welcome on.
Yeah, it's great to be on the sports pod. I'm looking forward to listening to more shows.
Well, you got a backlog now to check in with. Anyway, hey, congratulations on the appointment. Tell me how here's the cliched first question. How does it feel?
Yeah, it's pretty surreal, to be honest. Yeah. It all happened pretty quick when Curly put her resignation in, so I kind of wasn't really prepared for it. And then she handed in the notice, and I thought for a few days, and I think there was a week to get your CV in, so I kind of put that together, and then just went for it. So it's been a pretty crazy few days. It's probably been a bit more excitement around it than I probably anticipated. So a lot of media and heaps of nice messages. So it's pretty humbling at the same time too.
What was it like putting a CV together and doing that sort of stuff?
I haven't had to do too many in my life, so there was certainly a lot of proofreading going on. But got a good matey proofread it for me, and Trent's eyes went over it too. So I had a wee mock one done for something I went for a couple of years ago on a board, so just change it up slightly. Back to school really. Yeah.
What did you have to prepare, I guess, in terms of ensuring you got the nod and that the interview process, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I haven't done too many interviews. I think it was my second interview I'd done in my life. So when I walked out, I was like, whoa, that was pretty intense, eh? So it was about an hour and a half, the first one. Had a panel there. Really good experience for me. Like, I went into the interview not knowing where I was at, they'd employ me. So for me, I was just using it as a stepping stone if I didn't get it, how I could grow in that space leading forward for kind of future jobs, I suppose. So just getting in front of people and trying to sell yourself. Not too good at that. Like, I've like to think I'm reasonably humble. So when you try to sell yourself, you probably have to talk yourself up a bit more than I like / have done in the past. So that was a bit different for me. But so that was a process, and then had 3 or 4 days later, had to do a presentation, which was really full on, and then another question and answer with a panel. I think there's about 7 on it, so definitely intense moments. But great experience to be able to do it and come out on top. It was pretty special moment.
I guess, did you put time before that into thinking, when and if I get a team like this, what my strategy, how I want to run a team?
Yeah, I kind of thought Curly was on board again, to be honest. I didn't really see her heading off. So I hadn't really thought about it a lot. This is the first year I've probably been in that space that I do want to be a head coach. I do want to coach the Steel one day. You always kind of think about it, but I was in Steel trainings and that this year, and just went in for a couple of specialist sessions and just felt real good in the space. Like, thought, actually, I want to do this one day. So probably thought it wouldn't be quite 2025, but I guess for me it's meant to be, and when is the time right? I've got 4 kids. Busy lifestyle, but just got to make it work. So couldn't really let the opportunity go. And as I said, I went into the job having no idea if I was what they wanted, if I was going to get it. So just great experience. Just a big challenge ahead of me. An exciting challenge though.
Mm.
Obviously, Donna Wilkins was named the tactics coach today, and it's another of Robin's, I guess, former netball students, so to speak. How much of her influence do you think of her coaching will come through for you, do you think?
Yeah, I think Donna's, it's a great signing for the tactics. They've had a team the last couple of years that are, in my eyes, they should have potentially been winning the ANZ. So I think she'll bring a pretty hard-nosed approach. She's a very professional player and a very committed and anything to win sort of style. So I think you'll see a new tactics look with that, with her in charge. I think it's exciting for the comp to get players who have been coached by Robin. Like, my view on Robin, best coach in the world. She instilled so many good qualities in all her players, and Donna and luckily myself were under Robbie for so long that I really think that it's going to benefit the coaches if you've been coached under her.
How did you find out? Did you you got the job?
Just a phone call from Sonia, actually, late on a Friday. So I actually, it's weird when you go for a role like this, how many people ask you if you're going for it. And when people asked me, I didn't actually kind of at the time I wasn't 100, so kind of spin that, and then I've had about 100 people text me and say you lied to me. So I was like, when I seen you, no, I didn't let you know. But yeah, there's been a bit of banter around that. But yeah, Sonny rang me on Friday, and then it wasn't getting released till Monday because of the ANZ fine on the Sunday. So yeah, a few people obviously speculated that I was going for it, but I just kind of hibernated at home for the weekend. I just didn't really want to go too far.
Avoid any conversations.
Yeah, but yeah, it was a cool phone call. Kept it pretty tight until it was released. I didn't want it to get out. I obviously that's part of it. When you get a job, you've got to wait till the release comes out. Mum and Dad were away for the weekend in Wellington, so I rang them up. They were pretty excited. So that was a special phone call, and then yeah, pretty much just everyone else found out on Monday.
To be fair, Sonia was running around the building, I think about a quarter of an hour before that press release went out. She was so excited. She was telling everybody that she ran into.
Yeah, breaking her own embargo. That's fair, though. There's no problem with that. Interestingly, though, I mean, if you'd been listening to the podcast, you would have heard us talk to Curly, but that's okay. But when we did, and we talked a little bit about what she saw as being key for someone taking the reins, and what the organisation needed going forward as well. Because she talked a lot about it being a good time for her professionally to move on, but also the right time for the organisation, which you'd expect nothing less from a very mature perspective on it as well. But when she talked about that, and she talked about how she felt it was the right time with someone who was ingrained in what the steel, was about, and that real true essence of things. So the moment we finished the conversation, we went, right, when does Wendy get appointed? I mean, in that regard, you must feel good though, because even though I'm sure you would have copped a lot of inquiry about people, it does point to the fact that it's a really good fit, obviously from the organisation and from the community's point of view. And the outpouring since your announcement as well must have been pretty special to see.
Yeah, it's been pretty humbling. I haven't actually been able to probably absorb it all yet. I've still got a lot of unread messages that I normally are good at replying to people, but just, yeah, it's been a crazy few days. But yeah, just skimming a few facey comments and stuff, it's been cool. Probably went off a bit more than I expected. Probably should have blocked out a few days to just keep on top of life, but yeah, it's truly, it's an amazing feeling, and having someone like Curly who's been in the helm for a long time, already met with her this week, and she's been such a fantastic support. So hoping like she'll hopefully take like a mentor role for me. She knows this franchise. She's been a player for so long and then a coach for 11 years. So really lucky to have her support and knowledge, and yeah, just commitment to the franchise. She still wants to see the franchise go well, which is really cool. And I mean, she coached me to 2 championships back to back. So she's got a lot to offer, and yeah, it's an exciting challenge for her to now get out of her comfort zone and go coach in the UK.
Because obviously there's no real sort of easing into it, isn't it? Because the contracting process is quite an important sort of period looming. Will Curly sort of help you with that and what to go about? I mean, because that's a whole new thing, isn't it? To go how you go about contracting or putting together a team.
Yeah, it's certainly. Yeah, I'm straight in there. I'd like to think of the hours I've done this week, it'd be a lot more than I thought, but that's all part of it. Yeah, Curly's she's been fantastic. Like, she's got a lot of insight from the team this year. I was only a specialist coach, so I wasn't involved a lot this year in any planning, admin. Kind of just seen the girls in the trainings I've done, then watched them on TV or commentated them. So she's given me a great insight into all the playing squad and even people outside the squad. So she's helping me, helping me immensely put the squad together for 2025. Her insight means a lot to me. She's got a lot of knowledge. So it's pretty cool to have her backing and her support.
So you're literally chasing players as of this week?
Right, yeah, absolutely. There's Sonny's in charge of all that, but yeah, it's pretty exciting what we're working on at the moment. There'll be a couple of announcements next week, I believe. So, yeah, can't wait to put it together. But considering I've only been in the job a couple of days, there's been some good progress and, yeah, some exciting talks with players. So, yeah, I can't wait till everyone can find out. And the girls sign the dotted line. Something I want to bring is, like, obviously at this time I haven't been a coach at this level, so just making personal contact with the players that we're looking at and phoning them up, or if they're a young player, phoning the parents and letting them know what the environment's going to be here, the culture that I want to create, and just, yeah, letting the players know what the Steel in 2025 is going to be about, and obviously trying to attract a couple of the players we're chasing to come play for the Southern Steel.
So, without getting into too specifics, tell us a little bit about what that is. What is the Steel going to look like under Wendy Frew in 2025?
Culture to me is really important, so I want to have a really good team culture. I think if you've got a good culture, the on-court stuff comes. Want to see a slick team with really good basics, so doing the basics really well, and just all that hunger, like the loose ball and decision-making under pressure. And I want to bring a lot of emphasis to I think I'm calling it like a toolbox, like the knowing the opposition and inside out. I feel like at times players potentially don't put enough focus on that, and when I was a player, it's something I did a lot. So every player you come up against, you should know their game inside out, who they look to pass to under pressure, are they left-handed, right-handed, do they drive into the ball strong, all these sort of things. So my squad is going to be doing a lot of homework in terms of watching games, analysing, and a lot of stuff around the opposition. So when you go into the game, it's in your brain and you know exactly what's coming at you.
It's when I think about the last couple of seasons, like it's a significant challenge you've got ahead of you. But at the same token, it feels like there's just like a few missing pieces. Like it's something that can be turned around, isn't it? Yeah,
I think it can be turned around. Obviously, they haven't had a successful couple of years, and as a ex-player, it's we care about the franchise, and it's been hard to watch. But at the end of the day, they've always tried their hardest. The management team have absolutely tried their hardest, and you got to feel sorry for them. But yeah, for me, I guess it is a big challenge coming in, but it's also exciting. Like I'm not coming in to coach a team that's won a championship, so maybe there's a little pressure off of me there. But yeah, just exciting to take a couple of the girls to another step up in what I want them to achieve on the court and some off-court stuff too. So exciting challenge. And can't wait to get stuck in. It's kind of funny having conversations with a few people at the moment. Like I'm ready to go. Oh, wanting to be ready to go, but we don't start for 8 months, and these players have just come off the season, so I've got to chill out a wee bit, eh? So just I'm going to be doing a lot of planning now till kind of January, and just a lot of admin stuff for me to do to ensure next year I've probably got a little bit more time to be learning the role, and as I said, watching footage and games and stuff like that.
Has it helped? Do you think you've obviously stayed really close to the game? You've been coaching, and you've got some coaching business, and also the commentating. Like you're as close to the game as you can get without sort of being fully involved.
Oh, it's great. Like when you commentate, like for me, I want to do a good job, so I watch every ANZ game. So I know a lot about these players, and seeing it firsthand and talking about them. So there's a lot of knowledge in my brain about that sort of stuff, which I think helps. And obviously being in the Steel environment and playing for the Steel for 16 years at this level, there's certainly a lot of things that I'll bring from my playing career too.
Well, you guess we see the good things about being coached, but one of the tough ones is the conversations that you have to have with some players. I guess, have you thought through that, and have you had any advice about how you go about that? I mean, I guess you haven't. I mean, you might be having some of those conversations now, but. That's going to be a big part of the coaches being able to tackle that, isn't it? Yeah,
I mean, I played at franchise level for 16 years, and probably not until the last 2-3 years is when I felt comfortable to have hard conversations. It's probably a really it'll still be a work on for me. I'm not a nasty person. I don't like conflict. I don't like to upset people. That'll be something that will be a challenge, but I know from day one I've got to set the bar, set the expectations, and make sure I get that buy-in. And if someone's not performing, you've got to have those conversations. So that'll be something I've got to just get comfortable doing. Probably lucky enough if players aren't contracted, that's at the moment since I'm coming in.
True, yeah.
I'd say that's Sonia or Curly's job, eh? So probably don't have to have those tough conversations with players, but yeah, certainly I'll be talking to the girls a lot over the next month and setting expectations for how I want them to come in the first day of pre-season. I think it's important these athletes come in ready to go. If you come into pre-season and you're not conditioned, or you've got niggles, or you haven't put in the work to get yourself to that base at the start of pre-season, you're just chasing your tail the whole pre-season. So there'll be a lot of hard conversations about that and what I expect of it. And they're not under contract at that time, but they're still, contracted to the franchise. So I'd like to think that they will work hard in that space, and that'll be a clear message I'll be giving them on the phone when I talk to them.
Just going back to the process, I mean, obviously between the knowing, oh, geez, this job's available, and handing your CV in, was there people that you talked to there before you made that final decision, yeah, I'm going to hand my CV in, or did you just know yourself?
Not really, eh? If I'm completely honest, like Trent, the husband, was so supportive.
Yeah.
Like he was so supportive. It was unreal. So that sort of helped me out, because if I've got his support, then it will make home life a lot easier. So he was definitely a good supporter there. And then a couple of family members, like, spoke with them too, and they were all like, a funny thing, I was surprised how everyone was like, you've got to go for it, like family and stuff. I'm like, you guys serious? Like, this is going to be intense. But yeah, they had my back, and I didn't really talk to any ex-teammates or players. If Robin was here, I would have rang her up for sure, but sadly she's not with us. But yeah, that's kind of where I was at with that. And when you go into a interview and stuff, you've got to be careful who you tell, because the netball world, there's a fair bit of gossip out there. So I just wanted to keep it professional and keep the old mouth shut.
Yeah.
And the joys of a small town as well too, right?
It was move, I think.
And what about going forward? I mean, you talk about Curly in a mentor role. I guess, for you, it'll be important to put a good group of people around you. Management team-wise as well too, how does that play? Is that something you drive, or the organisation drives, or a bit of both? Yeah,
I'm definitely keen to have Curly on board. I've had a couple of conversations and met with her today, meeting with her at the end of the week. So she'll... she's, I can tell she's got my back, which is pretty special. So look forward to working closely with her. Hopefully when she's in the UK, I'd say she'll still watch Steel, and I might try watch some of her games, and, just give each other anything we can there, which will be cool to have her support. In terms of the management space, there's a couple of player management that I think are already signed up. So at the moment, we're working hard on the players. We'll probably attack that next week. But, hopefully I'll get a little bit of say of how I would like it to look, and who I want to work with me.
Good stuff. And that's the balance, right? It's that, it is a balance between continuity, and I'm talking about probably more from a playing group point of view, I'm guessing here, as well too, and taking that forward, and then obviously the need for some key areas. Have you looked at exactly, you won't be able to give too many things away here, too. I'm trying to preempt next week's announcements. But in terms of those sort of key areas that you've kind of looked at, is there anything that you've thought of immediately off the bat and driven the organisation in a direction? Yeah,
I think when you come off a season and they haven't been as successful as they'd like and got the wins on the board, I think everyone knows you'd never contract. I think every year you'd never contract the same amount of players. Yep. So it's about finding that mix who will fit that mix, that the netball that I want to play, looking at players' ages, where they are in their lives, and kind of the mix of the experienced players throughout the court too. So a lot of things to consider.
Nice. So talk us, the other piece to consider, and you're sort of alluding to it as well, and you've mentioned Trent already. I mean, that family balance, have you, or more to the point, he worked out how this is going to work? I mean, what's been those sort of conversations?
He's got my back on it, but we'll work it out. I've said the kids are going to probably cut a few sports next year, so they probably won't be too heavy for me. I'm the mum, like my mum, dad had 8 kids, and they never said no to us playing any sport. So I've done that to my kids, but it might be different in term 2 and 3 next year. They might have to get on their bikes or just suck it up and not play as many sports. Yeah, it's going to be busy. I mean, life's busy without coaching the Steel, so there'll be some moments, I'm sure, but we've got a lot of family support and friends, and heaps of people in their circle have said they'll help out, so I've just got to demand the help, bring them, can you pick this kid up from there and drop them there? But yeah, kids might have to take a bit of a hit with that, but they're super pumped. Archie and Indy, they've obviously experienced it when I was playing. Every year they've asked me, why aren't you playing now? And I was like, because I want to be home with you kids and have another 2 kids. And they were like, you still should play. So they're pumped. And the wee 2, they just think they're going to take the ball on the court like Archie and Indy did. So I'll have to sort that out one game.
You sort of still are playing. I mean, I was down there one Saturday at the stadium south, and there's Wendy Frew running around at centre.
Trying to play. Just put a bunch of our, it's called the St Mary's Old Girls, just put a bunch of old mates together playing, and we're in Prem Gate and we're in the bloody semi on Saturday, so kind of not what we wanted. We wanted to just, creep in there and just play casual and not be hard out, but we've made Prems and it's changed things up a bit, but not the player used to be, I'll tell you that.
So talk to us about obviously a key time now, but what does it look like as you've sort of started, no doubt, mapping out between now and the start of the season? How does that go, sort of block by block for you?
Yeah, next few weeks is obviously just recruitment, so a lot of hours and that, trying to get the put the puzzle together really, and then the management team, and then there'll be a lot of my own planning in terms of. I want to do a lot of the planning in terms of the sessions and stuff like that. From what I understand, the girls don't come in until March, and then the comp starts in April. So it's a pretty short, 10-week pre-season and 10-week season. So it's a lot shorter than there's been in the past, which is important that these girls put in the work from January or tomorrow, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so for me, it'll be connecting with all the management, the players, lots of phone calls, and then getting in front of them when I can, who's around. And then January will be starting to we'll put the schedule together before that, but it'll be fine-tuning the schedule, and then, into it come 1st of March.
Has there been much talk in the netball world? Obviously, there's a little bit of uncertainty based around broadcasting deals and stuff like that post 2025. Is that a big topic of conversation in the netball world? I
haven't had a lot of talk around that, and I'm kind of like, no, that's not my department at the moment. Hey, it's a little bit scary. You hear, there might not be an ANZ or there might be less teams, but I guess for me, I'm just focusing on next year. There's 6 teams playing the comp next year, and we want to be competitive. So. Hopefully, everything falls into place and we can continue this brilliant competition that it is. But I guess we've got to put good performances in and, get those spectators walking in the doors and watching it on TV to produce a good netball game. Mm.
You mentioned maybe, and finally, mate, that it was only this year that you felt that this was the path that you would take. So what? Obviously, it's about when the opportunity puts its head up. But what do you think that those key things were that got you into that frame of mind? Is there anything you can put your finger on?
Yeah, definitely. So the first year I retired, I went into a couple of trainings, and Gina, Hooch, Shannon, Teeps, they're all there, and I'm trying to coach them. It was only a couple of sessions, but I just felt like an idiot. I was like, I played with you guys last year. Like, you guys are my mates. I go to your weddings, parties. It just wasn't working. Hey, so just felt uncomfortable. Didn't feel like I had the girls' respect, but it just wasn't working. Had a couple of years away from that, and then this year just got a lot of green light from Curly and Joe when I went in. Like, they're like, can you just cover this or just anything you want and stuff, and just felt like I had been away from the game long enough to not want to be on the court with them was a big thing, because I still wanted to be playing that first year. Like, I retired a year before I wanted to, but I was always going to do that because I'd had a long career and I didn't want to sit on the bench I didn't want to have that conversation with the CEO that we don't want you back next year. And because I'd had a great career, I called it a year early than I wanted, but it was the right thing to do.
Does it sound like it was? I think you're trying to convince yourself. But yeah, sure.
I always said to myself, there was 2 people I always talked to, and I was like, tell me if it's time to go. They never gave me that yarn. But I know within myself it was the right thing to do, even though it hurt.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
It's so interesting, because I was thinking about this exactly when the announcement was made, and I was thinking like how lucky you were, because there's maybe 1% of athletes actually get to call it when they're on top. And you did that. You went out on a massive high, but it was obviously there's a few gears were going around in the background as well. Yeah,
I definitely I love the game. Like, I went into Lana and I said, that's it, oh, no, come on, think about it for another week. I was like, I made my decision. And she's like, they wanted me to play for another year. I'll give you another week. So go back, think about it for another week. But I just knew, like, a couple of my mates around that time had not been asked back by their franchise, had great careers, and then were like bitter on netball. And I just had such a good 16 years. I didn't want my journey to be negative about netball or gutted at the Steel for not asking me back. So that was kind of where I went with that, and then had 2 more kids. So yeah.
And here we are today with the new Southern Steel coach. Yeah. Wens, congratulations. We're stoked for the organisation, for all of us as sports fans, and especially for you. So thank you for putting the hand up, and congratulations on getting the role, and good luck for the off-season and the recruiting.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for having me, and I'll be listening to more of these now.
One more. Thank you.